So they marched us to a rail siding. By the way, by then there was only 5,000 left in the ghetto of the original 25,000.
Right.
We were put in boxcars, cattle cars really, standing room only, couldn't move. And the train was moving, stopped and, guess changed. It took about 2.5 days, and we pulled into a town we noticed from looking from the car. There's a sign Stutthof. We had no idea what it was. It turned out it was a very large extermination and labor camp.
We have very messy offices.
Okay, now, how old does this boy look like?
Very young, 15.
Would you believe this was several months after I was liberated. I had food in me. I was 18 years, not quite 18 years old. The day after we left the main camp of Dachau, the Americans liberated that. And our camp was the same, the day after they took us out of the camp. So we were on this death march, I think, for about 5 days. And they would, the guards in back would kill anybody that dropped out. And they would, for some reason, if I remember correctly, they would march us at night, and during the day they'd find some place in the woods or something where we camped. And I remember on May 2nd, and we had that one blanket we owned, we woke up and the guards were gone. And I remember it was in the Bavarian Alps. It was about 2 feet of snow on top of us. And prisoners were roaming around, scrounging, trying to get food. My brother and I, and as I said, I was bossing my brother. Mm-hmm. When we knocked on the door of some little house in that village, and an elderly German couple took us in. First thing, they took our clothes and burned it. And it's the first time in a long time. We had a bath, we slept in the bed. This really grew pretty fast, but 14 years, every week, Chicago to Knoxville.
Wow.
Yes, they didn't have frequent flyers then. And finally in 1977, I moved to Tennessee. Obviously, I worked very hard. I wasn't home a lot, so our children, and my wife wanted 6 children, and I negotiated 3. We wound up with 4. I was married for 50 years. My wife died of breast cancer. So we lived in Knoxville then. And I ran into Mimi. Mimi lived in Morristown, and because my factory was there, I knew her and her husband and ran into her, and she lost her husband. So we got married. We've been married, is it 14 years or 13?
13.
13. And she tells me
We won't always remember.
She tells me I'm happy. She tells me I'm happy, and I am very happy.
I tell him every day.
Yeah. So in brief, and since I did have, after I sold my business, I started a new business with a German company, and everybody kept asking me, "Are you crazy?" The questions I got asked with different groups. Do I have nightmares? I don't. I really let go.
So many people endure things that are so much less than what you did and can't ever let go of them.
We know many.
You're an amazing person. Can I ask just one question?
Yes.
In light of the comments that were made, how did that make you feel?
You mean Canfield?
Yeah.
You know something? I don't think it's even worth, in my opinion, it's a nutcase. And it doesn't even deserve an answer.
I think that when people make comments like that through ignorance and complete non-understanding of what that was, and compare something that killed almost the whole Jewish population of Europe with applying for health care, this is beyond ignorance. I don't know what to call that man, because I hope that they do not vote him back into office. And I think that people, when they speak out in this kind of way, you know, Elie Wiesel, the famous Elie Wiesel, he said that the worst thing that can happen is silence. If people don't speak up when there's hatred being espoused or whatever, you have to, I think you have to speak out.
I agree. It's why I'm in this race, because there have been, and this is just really the latest in a string of things.
He's made Tennessee the laughingstock of the country. He's wonderful for the late night comedians.
It's why I'm in the race. I'm a local Knoxville girl. I've lived here most all of my life. I moved away a few years when I got married, but this is a great place, and we don't need representation that demeans people and demeans their experiences and belittles what people endure and their life